All right, good afternoon, everybody. Tonight is Monday, January 13th, 2025. And tonight is our executive session, annual and regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. So at this time, I would like to call this meeting to order. And Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Trish Robertson. Here. Trustee Manuel Godina.
Here.
Madam Chair. Medicina Messina
Here.
and Trustee Travis Manning
Here.
and Trustee Andrew Butler.
Here.
Okay, and at this time, if you would all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you may be seated. And at this time, Madam Clerk, if you would please let us know of the board meeting agenda postings.
Yes, Madam Chair and Trustees, I request the approval of the Board of Trustees executive session and regular meeting agenda posted on Monday, before Monday, January 13th, 2025. The agenda was posted on Friday, January 10th at 4:30 p.m. and the school district website, the Colville School District office at 1200 Grant Street, as well as 1502 Fillmore Street.
Okay, so at this time, I would like to ask for a motion to receive the clerk's agenda post of notice posting.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve and accept the agenda postings for Monday, January 13th, 2025.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a motion. I'm asking for a second.
Second.
Okay, we have a second. And if, is there any further discussion? Amending this, the agenda and the, okay. At this time, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, nay? Okay, and any abstain? Say aye. All right, motion passes. The ayes have it. And at this time, we are going to enter into executive session. And I would like to ask Vice Chairman Manning, could you please let us know, or I would like to ask for a motion to enter into executive session, please.
Madam Chair, I move we enter into executive session as per Idaho Code 74-2061 L. 2061 B, to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, individual agent, or public school students.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we are in executive session. Or I know I do second, and then all those in favor? Oh, no, we do a roll call, sorry. Wow, we haven't had a meeting in a while. I can tell. Okay.
Trustee Trish Robertson.
Yes.
Trustee Andrew Butler.
Yes.
Trustee Manuel Godina.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Travis Manning
Yes.
and Madam Chair Medicina Messina.
Yes. All right, now we are in executive session. It'll just be just a moment. Okay, thank you. So we just, we moved out of executive session. So at this time, we're going to, we can talk about what we discussed in. Pardon? Oh, okay, the possible action. Okay, so Vice Chairman Manning.
Madam Chair, after listening to the information provided during executive session regarding Idaho Code 74-2061 B, to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, individual agent, or public school student is incomplete.
Okay.
Mission only.
And we will, we would like to ask for, well, we're going to do a continuation of the executive session after this meeting is over. Or the regular session is over. Okay.
So we need a motion.
You amend the agenda, please.
Okay, and so at this time, I would like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to so that we are,
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move to
thank you,
amend the agenda to add an executive session at the end of the night.
thank you. Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Second, all right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right, motion carries. We will amend the agenda to add continue the executive session after the regular session. All right, so this is our annual meeting. So let me see. We have all sorts of papers here. So as an annual meeting, we're gonna do a reorganization of the Board of Trustees. So as chair of the School District Board of Trustees, I declare the Board of Trustees as dissolved, and I ask the board to proceed with reorganization for the 2025 school year. So at this time, Dr. French, you're in charge.
And I'm going to relish this for just a moment. Okay, just kidding. So as superintendent of the school district, I declare the office of chair of the board open, and I ask for nominations. Should we have more than one nomination, a vote will be conducted via roll call. Do I have any nominations?
So Dr. French, I would like to nominate Travis Manning as the chair.
Do I have a second? Are there any other nominations? So hearing none, we need a motion to accept the nomination of Travis Manning as Chair of the Board of Trustees for the 2025 school year.
I move that we accept the nomination of Travis Manning, trustee Travis Manning for the chair of the Board of Trustees for the 2025 school year.
Everyone in favor?
Oh, I second.
Oh, thank you for seconding. Thank you. We have the nomination. We've had the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So we'd just like to recognize our new chair of the board will be Travis Manning. And I will turn the school board meeting over to Chairman Manning.
You want us to move?
Yes, would
Okay,
you,
we're
would, I
gonna-
think
Give us 1 second.
that would be great.
We're pretty shifty around here.
My microphone, I don't trust.
I'm keeping my big gavel, but here you go. Is this one yours? Just in case you forget who I am.
All right. Madam Chair, I guess we're not a Madam Chair anymore. That's gonna be weird. Okay, at this time, we'll accept nominations for the office for the following position, Vice Chair. Do we have a nominee? Motion to
Mr. Chair,
accept.
I would like to nominate trustee Marcel Pacina as vice chair.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Yes, nominated by, seconded by trustee Medina. Any further discussion? Any other nominations? Do we vote? I mean, I guess we vote, right? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those, any opposed? or abstaining. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair Messina.
Thank you. I accept the nomination and the position. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Now we'll move on to the position of treasurer for the Caldwell School Board. Do we have any nominations?
Chairman Manning, I would like to nominate Manuel Godina for the treasurer position.
Okay, Vice Chair Messina nominates Trustee Godina. Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Butler with a second. Any other nominations for trustee, for treasurer? All those in favor for Trustee Godina as treasurer? Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations, Trustee Godina.
I'll accept.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Would like to move on now to the board clerk. Do we have any nominations for board clerk?
Chairman Manning, I would like to nominate Jessica
Watts.
Watts. Oh my God. Jessica Watts as our board clerk.
Okay, do we have a nomination? Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
2 seconds by Trustee Robertson and Trustee Godina. Any other nominations for board clerk? All those in favor of Jessica Watts being our new board clerk, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations, Ms. Watts. Now accepting a nomination for assistant board clerk. Do we have any nominations?
Chairman Manning, I would like to nominate Cheryl Sanderson as assistant clerk nominee.
Okay, Cheryl Sanderson is assistant clerk. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other nominations for board clerk, assistant board clerk? Okay, none of this time. All in favor as of Cheryl Sanderson as the assistant clerk,
Aye.
please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Anyone voting for nay? I'll get smoother at this.
You accept?
She accepts the nomination. Okay. Deputy Treasurer nominees.
Deputy treasurer.
Chairman Manning,
Yes.
I would, because she doesn't have enough to do, I would like to nominate Cheryl Sanderson for deputy treasurer.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other nominees for Deputy Treasurer for the school district? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Congratulations, Ms. Anderson. Or condolences, as the case may be.
Those are new, that's a new position, is that right?
No, I think that we've had a school board
Oh.
treasurer before,
Oh, okay.
Treasurer and.
Well, yeah, the clerk.
Oh, okay.
Assistant Treasurer, do we have any nominations for Assistant Treasurer?
Chairman Manning, I would like to make a motion to recognize as a designee at their respective locations and being responsible for handling the monetary transaction for the district and or schools, the following folks: for Caldwell High School, Teresa Yost; for Canyon Springs High School, Kimberly Moisard; for Jefferson Middle School, Monica Calvin; for Syringa Middle School, Andrea Betancourt; for Van Buren, Sherry Klotzer; for Washington Elementary, Kenza Elias; Sacagawea, Claudia Ferreira; and for Wilson Elementary, Veronica Lopez; and Lewis and Clark, Hilda Escarziga.
Okay. And was Cheryl Sanderson,
We've already appointed her as a
Okay.
district treasurer.
okay, Deputy
Yeah.
Treasurer versus
Sorry.
Assistant Treasurer, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so I guess we need to vote on that, correct?
Second? Yes.
We need a second. Do we have a second for those
Second.
nominations? We have a second by Trustee Godina. Any other nominations for any of those positions under schools? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed? Okay,
So now.
All right, do I have a motion to close the nominations for those offices, vice chair, treasurer, clerk, assistant clerk, deputy treasurer, and assistant treasurers?
Yes, Chairman Manning, I would like to make a motion to close the nominations and accept those that have been nominated for the office as mentioned, the vice chair, treasurer, clerk, assistant clerk, deputy clerk, and assistant treasurers.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Right. Do I have a motion to accept the reorganization of the Board of Trustees for the 2025 school year?
Yes, Chairman Manning, I would like to make a motion to accept the reorganization of the Board of Trustees for the 2025 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustees Godina and Robertson. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. I designate these dates for board meetings, regular board meetings for the upcoming school year, 2025 school year. Well, I guess technically it's the 2024-25 school year, then it also bleeds into the 2025-26 school year. But that's the legislature's doing and they're all their malevolence. That's another topic for another day, I suppose. So January 13th, 2025. So typically the regular board meetings happen on the second Monday of each month. January 13th, February 10th, March 10th, April 14th, May 12th, June 9, July 14, August 11, September 8, October 13, November 10, December 8. So those are the dates for 2025. All meetings will be held at 7 p.m. at the Vernon DeMarc Boardroom here at 1502 Philmont Street until we, actually, we're going to be moving the boardroom here in a month or two. As some of you may or may not know, board meetings will change the location in a month or two. We will let the public know to the boardroom, the new boardroom, which will be at the 107 Poplar building. And some of you may not even realize that the school district has a building at 107 Poplar, and they do. It's a tech office and a copy center. It's over there off of Kimball and Poplar. And so we will be shifting. Like I said earlier, we're shifty. We're going to be shifting the building to the Poplar building, shifting the board meetings to the Poplar building in the next couple of months. As far as the official posting sites for board meetings, we're required by state statute to do that. So those two locations will be the new school district offices, as you may or may not know. There's actually nobody that actually works in this building anymore. The district office has moved to Lincoln Elementary at 1200 Grant Street. And so we post the meeting notices there. And then we also post the notices of meetings on the webpage, hubbleschools.org. I designate the following as official depositories, for the school district. So as far as where we do our banking in our business, US Bank, First Interstate Bank, and the Idaho State Treasury. So this is all public information. We're a public entity, so we are very transparent in all that we do. I designate the following as established signatories. Apparently, I'm one of them now. So you guys will have to get my signature, and I'll have to write legibly so you guys can read it. And then also the board treasurer. You already have yours, and so appreciate that. Do I have a motion to accept these designated official meeting dates, posting sites, depositories, and established signatories?
Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to accept these designated official meeting dates, posting sites, depositories, and established signatories.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. All right, the Code of Ethics for Idaho School Board members, for Caldwell School District Board members as well. And we read this at our meetings just to remind ourselves and to let the public know that we are trying to act as ethically as possible. So do we have copies of those?
Yes, we have them in our folders and Chairman Manning, if you would allow me, may I read the Code of Ethics?
That would be great.
Okay.
Vice Chair Apacina.
Okay, so the Code of Ethics for Caldwell School Board members. As a member of my local Board of Trustees, I will strive to improve public education, and to that end, I will, number one, attend all regularly scheduled Caldwell School District Board meetings insofar as possible, having read my packet, ensuring that I am informed about the issues to be considered at the meeting. Number two, recognize that the board must comply with the open meeting law and only has authority to make decisions at official board meetings. Number three, make all decisions based on the available facts in my independent judgment and refuse to surrender that judgment to individuals or special interest groups. Number four, understand that the board makes decisions as a team. Individual board members may not commit the board to any action unless so authorized by official board action. Number five, recognize that decisions are made by a majority vote and the outcome should be supported by all board members. Number six, acknowledge that policy decisions are a primary function of the board and should be made after full discussion at publicly held board meetings, recognizing the authority to administer policy rests with the superintendent. Number seven, be open, fair, and honest, have no hidden agendas, and respect the right of other board members to have opinions and ideas which differ from mine. Number eight, recognize that the superintendent is a board advisor and should be present at all meetings except when the board is considering the superintendent's evaluation, contract, or salary. Number nine, understand the chain of command and refer problems or complaints to the proper administrative office while refraining from communications that may create conditions of bias should a district concern ever rise to the attention of the board as a hearings panel. Number 10, keep abreast of important developments in educational trends, research, and practices by individual study and through participation in programs providing such information. Number 11, respect the right of the public to be informed about district decisions and school operations. Number 12, understand that I will receive information that is confidential and cannot be shared. Number 13, give staff the respect and consideration due skilled professional employees and support the employment of those best qualified to serve as district staff while insisting on regular and impartial evaluation of all staff. Number 14, present personal criticism of district operations to the superintendent, not to district staff or at a board meeting. Number 15, refuse to use my board position for personal or family gain or prestige. I will announce any conflicts of interest. I will announce any conflicts of interest before board action is taken. And lastly, but not leastly, I don't know if that's right, but 16, remember always that my first and greatest concern must be the educational welfare of the students attending the public schools. Chairman Manning, we sign these. May I ask a question? Okay, so we sign these documents and give them to, who do we turn them into? Okay, to the board clerk, to Miss Anderson. So you should all have one in your packet, in your manila folder.
Okay,
Please
so
sign
sign
it.
it now or,
Whenever, before we leave.
okay, so we'll, before the end of the meeting. All right, thank you. Okay, moving on to information reports and Dr. French, Superintendent Report.
Thank you. Chairman Manning and trustees, we would like to recognize David Cole. So David Cole is here tonight. He's a music teacher at Van Buren Elementary School. And his principal is here and a fellow peer, Kelly Gary, is also here. So if Mr. Harding and Kelly and David, if you'd please come forward and then share, well, I'll let you share the great information now. Thanks, Kelly. Hi.
Chairman Manning and trustees and Dr. French. you all know, I've been in this district for 35 years, teaching currently at Jefferson. And I had the honor in the 23-24 school year of being chosen the VFW Teacher of the Year for my post, 3886. Then went on to win the district and then went on to win the state of Idaho, and then went on to win national, the 23-24 school year. Well, I voluntold this gentleman here and put him in for the same awards. So far, he's won the post, he won District 5. And then Saturday night, he was awarded with the VFW Idaho Teacher of the Year. Yeah.
First off, I have a good mentor, don't I? Right? What's been fun for me is to just tell people how much I love America, how much I love kids, and how much I love combining that, to be able to tell them what a great country this is, to do things such as Veterans Day programs every year and really put my heart into that. Also with helping the kids understand the price of freedom and to really honor the veterans. To me, I guess the most important thing I could say is that it's almost surreal to be honored by the veterans because they're my heroes. So hopefully we'll see if I can represent on a national level, but right now I'm proud to represent Caldwell for Idaho, and we'll let you know if something happens.
We need a picture.
Oh, okay.
And it's,
In Ohio.
I saw Kelly's album.
That's a motivation.
Gotta go be paparazzi for us. Go get a photo. Send it to our team. I appreciate you.
You ready? I got it. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you do that.
That's probably what I would have put. That was pretty good.
there's 51st. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Thank you. Chairman Manning, next we have, I did wanted to give an update to the board about the Power School cybersecurity incident. We have sent out notices, 2 different notices to parents and 2 separate notices, one specific to staff, and then the staff also received the notice that went, the second notice that went out to parents. We are still working with the Power School team. I do want to make sure that you know, this was at a national level. It was not in our district. It took place at a national level and affected schools in the United States and Canada. So we'll just keep working with Power School to make sure that our data is secure as we move forward. And then also I included on the superintendent report the 24-25 ambitious goals that I do believe in, and I will continue to bring that up, and I would like to take an opportunity at a board work session to share more about that. That is all I have at this time, Chairman Manning.
Dr. French, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Next we move on to Caldwell High School's Nick Mendez. Mr. Mendez. Good to see you.
Chairman, trustees, Dr. French. I'm excited to give you guys another report on Caldwell High School. This one is a little bit shorter than previous months. Winter break taking up 2 weeks, of course, but I still have a lot I want to share and some good stuff going on at Caldwell High School. So I'm going to talk about academics first, and then I'm going to move into athletics and close it off with some activities. So first off with academics, I wanted to do a class highlight of a very staple at Caldwell High School you guys probably heard about. Biology 2. So Biology 2 is taught by Mr. Munoz. I don't know the exact amount of years he's taught at Caldwell High School, but he's been there for quite some time. And Caldwell High School, I'd say Biology 2 is a big staple for many students. I know a lot of students, mainly juniors, take this class just right after biology. They usually take it before they take chemistry class, or they might want to move on to AP Biology, which we've offered in previous years. But this is a really, really special class, especially because of the hands-on aspects of it. So this class focuses on the aspects of botany and ecology and anatomy. So for the first part of the year, you're going to see students spending time outside picking leaves to take pictures of different leaves, just in the community, understand different leaf types, flower types. But the real staple of this class is the second semester where students get to do a pig dissection. So you'll kind of notice if you walk in the halls, you might notice a certain smell around Mr. Munoz's classroom. But what that really is just students dissecting that pig right there. Really, it's just it's an opportunity for students to get hands-on work, dissecting this pig, understanding its different body systems, understanding its organs. And Mr. Munoz spreads this out throughout like months of work, throughout quarters. He's talked about how several other schools have tried to like do something similar like this, but this is really something unique to Caldwell. Usually I remember when I did dissections in middle school, it'd just be one day. You only have one day to do it, and after that you have to throw everything away. But this, you're working on it for months, on end, just keep going. And he does a great job teaching it. And a lot of students say after that class that they at first were really grossed out about it, but ultimately that they really liked it and saw the educational benefit of it.
Nick, really quick, Chairman Manning, boy, that's. Is that just offered in biology 2, or is it in biology 1 as well?
No, so yeah, the pig dissection?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's just in biology 2. So
Oh.
biology 1, at Caldwell High School focuses a lot more on like the cellular and genetics parts of biology.
Gotcha.
But then once you take biology 2, whichever year after,
Sure.
you get to still focus on a lot more of that big picture biology.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chairman Manning, may I make a statement?
Vice Chair Pacina.
Okay, I want to know, do we have carnitas afterwards? I don't know if y'all know what carnitas are, but like when we.
I'd really wish,
cook
but
the-
they're taking that pig
BLTs.
apart. I don't think you could eat it after.
Okay, all right, I thought I'd ask.
All right, now moving on to athletics. First off, I want to highlight what our basketball teams have been up to. So starting off with the boys team, they have been off on a very, very strong season. Their most recent game against Middleton ended in a loss. But I don't think that really reflects their work this year. You've really seen them. If you go to their games, they do well. They participate in tournaments and have been doing exceptionally well this year. I do want to highlight that senior night is going to be on February 13th versus Valley View. So that's going to be a very, very big game. Hopefully we have a good turnout for that hometown rivalry. Girls basketball has also been off on a really, really impressive season throughout all 3 teams. So Frost, JV, and varsity. Another loss against their most recent match against Columbia, but that is not reflective of how they're doing this season. Their senior night is scheduled for January 29th versus Skyview. I don't know if we've confirmed it exactly with the student council, but that day is also very likely going to be the Rockathon event for Cause Week. So I'll talk a lot more about that in the next board report, but just keep an extra eye out on that date. Wrestling, as we know, is a very strong staple. Caldwell High School has always been exceeding very, very well in their seasons. And they've been doing really well this season. Once again, this past weekend, the girls competed in the Jaybird Memorial at Columbia High School, and they came out at 2nd place overall. So that's a great accomplishment for them. And we even had a champion. Sienna Sanchez was the champion, and Maritza Medina got 3rd place, and Ella Corner got 5th place. So we're really proud of the way that all of them represent Caldwell and just all the great work that they're doing. So time for some activities. Caldwell High School Student Council recently held its Christmas Bowl event. So if you guys are unfamiliar with what it is, Student Council sits outside on toilets for 12 hours, and it's just to raise awareness and bring in money and donations so that we could give that money to families in need in our district. So the whole saying is we're uncomfortable so others could have a comfortable Christmas. So we're really proud of that. We did get a lot of money in donations. You can see in one of the pictures. We take all that money over to Walmart and we just buy, like, I believe we supported 2 like pretty big families for their Christmas. And it's just really special because I feel like a lot of student council members are eager to do service, make a difference in the community, and this is doing just that. So we're really proud of all the work that went into that and how it's positively affecting some citizens in Caldwell. And lastly, I want to highlight that a mariachi concert, I believe some of you guys were there, was held at Caldwell High School this past month. What really made it special, I think, was all the different groups we had performing. So we had Caldwell High School's very own mariachi performing, which was always great to see, especially knowing that that program is new and up and coming. We also had the Jinetes, and then also Mariachi Cantares de Mexico. So these are different groups that are part of the community. But having them here at Caldwell High School is a really, really special thing to have. All of the funds from this concert went to the Trio Upward Bound program to fund future trips. More specifically, a trip to North Carolina to see a Caldwell High School alum, Jalen Cellular, graduate from Duke University. So see her graduate, but then also tour different colleges in North Carolinian area. And we also had different speakers from the Trio Upward Bound program share their stories and just overall show the impact that Trio has had on them. So this is a great success, especially having it at Caldwell High School, something very, very special. And that's all that I have for you guys. So I'll now stand for any questions, but thank you guys for listening to this report.
Any questions for Mr. Mendez?
Chairman Manning, I had a question. When you guys did the Christmas Bowl, Mr. Mendez, how many hours were you there for? I mean, when you started until the end?
So Caldwell High School, our student council takes shifts.
Uh-huh.
So we started at 9 a.m. and we went until 9 p.m. We were in front of Caldwell High School's gym because there was a basketball tournament going on that day. So we thought it'd be good to just get that foot traffic. But we take shifts. So I was personally there for 2 hours. Any more of that, that would have not been good for me.
Was it a padded seat?
No, it was just the toilet and you're just there 2 hours
was
in the
cold.
cold. And it was raining that day too.
Yeah, it
So
was
we
pretty
had to
horrible.
put up the tent and everything. Yeah.
It's pretty nice to see all student council, everybody out there. I mean, it was cold, it was miserable, but you guys are out there for the cause and smiling, having a good time. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed walking right past into a warm building, but I know you guys. But yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
watching.
we always love doing this. It's very similar to our Rockathon event, which you'll hear more about later. But that one we sit there for 12 hours straight. So I feel like this is the warm up for that. But I think something that you'll notice is that student council members don't complain about that. They'll never be like, oh, I don't want to sit there for 12 hours. Oh, I don't want to sit there for 2 hours just outside. They're eager to do it and they understand that it's for a good cause and that it is going to make a difference. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Nick.
Give Ms. Mendez.
Okay, we are very excited to have you introduce yourself to us. This is Maxwell Peterson, and he is the new representative from Canyon Springs High School. And so some people may say, well, why are you having students speak at the board meeting? Well, because that's why we're here. We are here to help our kids, our students, to build them, prepare them for the future so they can be good citizens of our country. And so, Maxwell?
Chairman Manning, I'd like to ask a question. Why we had so many students from Canyon Springs, different ones?
is this a rhetorical question or? Is
No,
this-
you know.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, so you
Oh.
can let them know why we have had 3.
Because the Canyon Springs High School students have been graduating early. Yeah. Well, that's nice to see. It's progress. And I mean, good golly, if you don't want to be in high school, but you want to graduate, get out of here and move on with your life, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, Maxwell.
Well,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. French. I am Maxwell Joel James Peterson. I don't know if you can all hear me. I am the new representative of Canyons High School, here to fill you in on the events since December. I believe my presentation will be a bit more brief than Nick Mendez's. Let's see. To start off, we got the final packages from the Source of Strength program, which is a program in the United States and Canada for healthy communication and anti-suicide. So we got the final packages in the hands of our student council to utilize for the betterment of our students. So that's going all well and good. In the spirit of the Christmas season, we had some fun activities throughout December. Up first, there was this Elf on the Shelf selfie competition, where around the main hall and cafeteria, an elf was hidden around, of which the students could take a picture with, just as something to do. Let's see, we also hosted a Spirit Week between December 16th and December 20th, with, with fun outfits where people could ornament themselves like a Christmas tree or Dr. Seuss character. And let's see, and on the 19th, there was a Christmas assembly with group games, and even a jolly old friend returned for pictures. Former teacher, Mr. Lawson.
Yeah. He goes everywhere.
Let's see, recently, our school migrant liaison, Miss Waterman, gained her official United States citizenship, and we couldn't be prouder. Jefferson Middle School recently held a food drive and graciously donated a portion of their earnings to our food pantry, and a big thank you to them for doing so.
Nice.
Last Thursday was Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, so I'd like to give a big thank you to our school officer, Dylan McMurdy, and our school aide, Jamie Jamtas. That's most of the thank yous. In current news, to promote exercise and enjoyment, our school has started a volleyball tournament that has just started and will continue throughout the month. This is a bracket with some of the teams.
Mr. Peterson, are there still some games going on?
Yes,
Still?
yes,
Okay. Okay.
they will continue throughout the next few weeks.
Okay.
In upcoming news, there will be a future presenter at our school. Let's see, it's named Stingray Rob, who is an IndyCar driver from Payette, who will present on the 30th about the value of choices.
Oh, nice.
And fun fact, as of today, Canyon Springs High School has passed over 1,000 credits earned, as I think this year.
By the school.
Well, that's the last of the news. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and thank you for your time.
Okay.
All right, any questions, trustees?
Chairman Manning, Mr. Peterson, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What grade you're in? Where?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been attending Canyon Springs High School for about 2 years now. I'm a senior, going to graduate this year.
Nice.
I'm not sure what exactly you'd want to know.
Everything. Just kidding.
Well, that's kind of a long story there.
What do you want to do after you graduate?
Well, that's kind of a long story there.
Never mind. Thank you very much.
Yes, oh, and I just have a question or a comment. Thank you for coming up here. Oh, Chairman Manning, if I may. Thank you for coming, to accepting the position of being a liaison, because, you know, it's tough to do public speaking. It really, really is, and I commend you. And I like your outfit. Is it like a certain era in time, or is it, I love it. It's cool.
Well, I could give an answer for that, but that'd be kind of a long answer.
We're gonna talk afterwards, okay?
Of course.
All right, okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Peterson. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we are moving on to the consent agenda. The board may take action to approve, deny, amend, modify, or postpone any action on, from the items listed below. The board will be asked to approve all of the following items by a single vote unless any member of the board asks that an item be removed from the consent agenda and considered and discussed. Do any trustees want to move any items from the consent agenda?
Yes, Chairman Manning, I would like to, if we could please move item number C, personnel reports, and move it following the completion of the executive session. So after the executive session, if we could touch back on that, please.
Okay. All right, we will pull that item. Any other items? Okay. So can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda except for item C?
Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda except item C.
Okay, motion by trustee Butler. Anyone to second it?
Second.
Trustee Butler, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion passes. And we will discuss item C in executive session after the regular meeting tonight. No items for 9. 10 information items, the plant facility reports. Dr. French, do we have Mr. Carrera here to
Chairman
speak to that?
Manning, Bernie Carrera will give the plant facility update.
Okay, Mr. Carrera.
Manning, trustees. At the high school, we've finished installing the gym units. We're looking now is to schedule the job walk to create a platform around those units to service those. They're pretty big units, so it's pretty intensive as trying to get platforms around there safely and be able to service those. Jefferson Middle School, we had some plumbing issues where we had to add couple clean outs, one inside the building, one outside the building to make sure that we were able to access the entire system. So that's complete. Syringa, we're working with engineers right now for the upcoming project, trying to get the best way to move forward with the HVAC units on whether to go electric or gas, and doing the pros and cons of each so we can kind of eliminate and see what direction we're going to be going. Lincoln Elementary, we're still working on the countertop and the front reception area and the glass doors there. And there was a typo. If we go back down on the last item, the sketch on the roof, the annex over at Lincoln will be getting re-roofed. Because we've had this old in time, had some leaks, so we're getting that one replaced. The 1502 Fillmore and the Indian Creek, we're working on the sprinkler project. As you know, we were unable to get bids publicly, so we've been negotiating with individual subcontractors and contractors to come in and complete the project. So we've received numbers, and we're working out some details as far as moving forward, and hope to have a schedule and a contract for you by the next board meeting.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Carrera. Any questions from the trustees? Mr. Carrera, quick question on the annex building in Lincoln. What is in that building, or what will be in that building?
Right now, currently, the full building is being occupied by CAP.
Yeah.
So it's full-time.
Okay, and I think that's just maybe a good time to point out that we do, have a lot of community partners, and that's kind of the part of the philosophy of our school district as well, is to, help our community partners and maximize, the opportunities for our kids. Dr. French, how many different organizations utilize Lincoln Elementary besides the district office?
Yep. Chairman Manning, so, and trustees, right now, YCAP preschool, YMCA preschool. We have a Play to Learn program that takes place on Wednesdays. Boys and Girls Club then uses the building sometimes throughout the day, but in the afternoons after school.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Carr.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next item on the agenda is the CSD calendar and important dates. And we're not going to go over those. They're on the website. So, or unless we need to go over there, anything?
No.
Okay. All right. Moving on to patron input. Do we have anyone who wishes to speak at tonight's meeting? We do not. Okay. Moving on to the regular agenda. The MOU with the city of Caldwell, Dr. French.
Yep, Chairman Manning and trustees, this is the MOU with the city for the pathway agreement between Jayhawk subdivision and Brothers Park and Caldwell High School. So this was the agreement we had visited about earlier in the school year. I believe it was back in June and July. And there was some concerns about the district's roles and responsibilities and financial obligations. And so we have gone back to discuss it. And right now what you have is the rediscussed and reconfigured MOU. The school district has no financial obligation, but what we will be doing is the property will belong to the city. It will be turned, that section for the pathway between Jayhawk subdivision, which will then connect to Brothers Park, which will then connect to Caldwell High School, and then ultimately connect to the YMCA across the road. That will belong to the city.
Okay. Any questions from the trustees? Okay. Information only, it sounds like.
Oh, no,
Or do we need to
sorry,
approve?
Chairman Manning, it will need have a motion. We pulled it last time, so this contract is new with the updates where Caldwell School District won't be providing lighting and or cameras, security cameras for the pathway. That was in the last agreement, which we had to pull.
Okay.
Dr. French, so because they're doing all that, is that why we're surrendering that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Last.
So the Jayhawk subdivision will be putting in the pathway as per the city, and then the city will maintain that pathway. Otherwise, we would end up maintaining it, which we don't want to do. And then also it requires Jayhawk subdivision to install a foul ball fencing to help protect the homes along that walkway from potential foul balls flying that direction.
And the agreement will be that that pathway will be open at all times for
Mhm, that's
students
correct.
and anybody else that wants to. walk
Mhm.
there. Okay,
It will be a city, just like the walkways
Okay.
around city, it will be open.
okay, okay.
Chairman Manning, may I?
Vice Chair Pacino.
And this, it seems like a great step forward due to the fact that, because of the, our public funds, right? They're not there so that we could do all this that was asked of us, correct? Or
Madam Chair, excuse me, sorry, Chairman Manning, Vice Chair Pacina. The request was we didn't want students crawling over the fence from Jayhawk subdivision. So the point of meeting with them was to create a pathway so that students coming from that subdivision and then across Florida, There are several students who could walk to school if there was a walking path.
Okay.
Would improve that for students. Right now, if they come across Florida and walk, they're walking down the canal.
Mm,
So this would make a safe walkway into Brothers Park, which then leads into Caldwell High.
okay.
Does
Uh-huh.
that make sense?
That makes
Okay.
sense. And when will
Oh,
we do?
Chairman Manning and Vice Chair Pacina and trustees, Mr. Carrera would like to share what he knows.
What Dr. said, as you're coming through, we have the softball field gated off, we have the track. All those areas are gated off, so to get through there, it was much easier access going through instead of trying to open up and have people crossing over all the fields.
Oh, okay.
It was a much better way to access the school.
Okay. And when will this be recorded, Dr. French? When is it a done deal?
After the board, pardon me, Chairman Manning, Vice Chair Pacina, after the board has to first make a motion and approve the MOU, and then it will go to the city. And then Jayhawk subdivision, the Zions, I think they're Zion developers can start. It will, and we'll do a, help me out there, Cheryl,
Well,
Sign the quick claim.
yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Then the board will bring at the next meeting a resolution.
Oh,
That
okay.
then will allow us to work with the title company to file the quitclaim.
Okay.
Deed to
Okay.
transfer the property from one public entity to another.
Okay.
And you see, I'm sorry, you will see an example of the quick claim deed that the city provided.
Okay. Thank you.
Chairman Manning and Bernie,
Godina.
is there gonna be a fence on that side, or is that gonna be a new fence? And if it is, how high is it gonna be? Cause I know there,
It's gonna be a 6-foot fence and it'll be gated off on this side, so it directs them back over. Shoots them straight into Brothers Park, right onto the path.
Okay.
Around over there, and then there's an entrance that they get to the school property.
But- I don't know if you know, or Mr. Phillips, I know we have a lot of break-ins in that area of softball, baseball. Is there any cameras out there or anything like that
There are cameras.
There are cameras.
And Eric is working on a plan.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cause those, yeah, that's a lot of money that gets stolen out of those,
Yes, that was one of the
facilities.
things that was discussed thoroughly with them and our concerns with having that back there and adding more traffic after.
Yeah.
spending time gating everything off and doing what we could to
Sure.
hear it.
Yeah,
So that was a big conversation on why we were
gotcha.
requiring the 6-foot fence along that whole
Okay.
pathway.
And Chairman Manning and Trustee Godina, that was part of the reason the MOU had to go back to discussion, because there was a thought that we would provide lighting and cameras for the path. Which,
You remember that?
if we start doing that, we would be providing cameras and lighting for paths across Sacagawea, Syringa, Washington. We don't do that, but we would have them on it would be on our property.
Did you have something for the cameras, Mr. Phillips?
Chairman Manning and Trustee Godina, we do have a camera that's out there on the main baseball field announcer booth.
Oh,
And
okay.
we do have a pole nearby that would cover both of our baseball fields for vandalism that does have power. That we're working on power that runs almost right up to it.
Mhm.
So to make that connection and then run it up, and then we can add an additional camera
Oh, okay.
to survey our complex to make sure if there's any vandalism, we have record of that.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? All right, I will accept a motion to approve the MOU with the city of Caldwell for the pathway.
Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to approve the MOU with the city of Caldwell.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair Pacina. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Godina. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. All right, moving on. Item 2, tools of the Mind Kindergarten PD, February 12th, Dr. French.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Manning and trustees. So this is a request on, I would like to request the board allow us to provide professional development for our preschool and kindergarten teachers. I've added some information for you in Assembly for you to look at. I've also invited Mrs. Berkerman here to visit about this professional development. And Ms. Bergerman, do you want to make your way up to that podium? So what this would require in order to have those teachers be able to attend this and have a meaningful opportunity for this professional development, I am asking to allow us to have a no school day for kindergarten students on February 12th. Preschool students already do not come to school that day, so teachers are available with the paraprofessionals to attend. It is a early release day, so students are there until 1:30, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Ms. Bergerman is our administrator who works directly with our kindergarten teachers throughout the district. And I won't speak for her, but there have been many issues raised and shared with her about concerns, the inability to self-regulate as a preschooler and as a kindergarten student. So also Ms. Bergerman, her school houses all of the developmental preschool programs in the district. So we looked into this and I would like to have her speak to why we feel this is important enough to have a no kindergarten day.
Thank you. Good evening. For many of the things that Dr. French spoke of, our kindergarten students are just they're arriving to us the past few years with some different needs than what we've seen from back when I was in the classroom. And so as we've spent time in kindergarten PLCs the past few years, we like to give teachers that opportunity to, collaborate and talk with each other in addition to the professional development that we spend during that monthly time. And one of the common discussion topics that they spend a few minutes talking about is the challenges that they're seeing within their classrooms. And we have that conversation about, we're trying this, we're trying that. And it's not all students, it's not the majority, it's those one or two challenging behaviors that are really taking away from that opportunity and, the main instruction opportunity. And when we dial in on what is that deficit that we're seeing, it is the executive functioning, that ability to self-regulate. And so when we had the discussion about what could we do, this it's from Tools of the Mind, and it is a much bigger opportunity that we're looking at for preschool for down the road. But what could we do right now? This was something that came in a one-day workshop that teachers could have that opportunity to go back and apply immediately with their students in their classrooms. One of the conversations that we wanted to, as a teacher, that we wanted to make sure we were supporting also was, though, if I'm a teacher and I'm worried about what's happening in my classroom or not being able to have a substitute and we're asking all kindergarten teachers to be there, plus our preschool teachers, even though they don't have students on Wednesday, and our ESPs, we want everyone to have that language, but for kindergarten, we need them to be fully present and not be worried about what might be happening in their classroom or preparing for the classroom. So we wanted to provide an opportunity for them to be fully present and be invested and not trying to balance and juggle, the emotional and piece that's going on in their classrooms with what they need to be focusing on for the professional development. That's where we landed on February 12th, because it would give us time to get clear communication out to families, give teachers that opportunity to plan for that. But then also give us that opportunity to then apply it immediately and have then time to come back together and try it, see what's working and get that application piece in place to work with. I had the opportunity to meet with all kindergarten teachers virtually last Wednesday through a Google Meet, and then one of the other teams on Thursday because they already had some things going on for their PLC. And there was great discussion, great questions, and they were saying, yes, we do. This is something that we do need. And some of them were like, well, we want to know a little bit more, but overwhelmingly they were saying, yes, we have some challenging behaviors and we need some more tools in our toolbox. And our preschool teachers, I also met with them to say, is this something that you're ready to try? And they were also saying, yep, this is something that we need as well. So that was something that we're saying, yeah, we do need this. So questions?
Chairman Manning?
Vice Chair Pacino.
Yes, I was lucky to have attended the monthly parent meeting, and the parents were there. It was discussed, and I just want to let the board know, there was some really good examples of what the playing, it's like a playtime that you're teaching kids, just how to use, just a thought process, and it was really, really interesting. And I'm glad that there's going to be, in addition to the kindergarten teachers, the preschool teachers, because I know that from the comments and the conversations that I've had with some community partners, it is getting hectic. You would think that not, but it is. And we do need to give our preschool teachers and our kindergarten teachers as much professional development as they can get so that we can get over this little hump. And I think this is a great idea. And, it helps with, like you said, not worried about who's going to take care of your class. And I would be, I would highly recommend that we approve this so that, we can get this professional development to our teachers, because I feel it's really needed at this time. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because and thank you, Dr. French, for having that at the parent meeting, because I think it really let the parents realize that, sometimes that we are trying to navigate through, okay, how do we, it's not like, how do we catch this problem when they're seniors? It's, we're trying to, get it when they're in preschool and kindergarten, and show them like, this is what you got to do when you're in school, and be able to also not have our kindergarten teachers be excited to come in and teach, the kids, and have them learn something new. So kudos for thinking about this and making sure that our teachers have professional development. I appreciate that.
Any questions or comments?
Chairman Manning.
Trustee Butler.
So I really do appreciate this, and I guess my comments, questions are more geared towards families and taking that time off. Seems like January, we don't have, students aren't, I don't think the students are in on a Monday in January already with the amount of days off. And so to just a couple weeks later have another day off, I just worry about what we're doing, families and the support that we can give them for those days. Cause we're talking 500 students in kindergarten, 400. So I guess that's kind of my biggest concern. The program looks wonderful. I don't have any concern about the program.
So Chairman Manning and Trustee Butler, we have reached out to Boys and Girls Club just because what do you do with your child from 9 o'clock until 2 when they've been in school? Boys and Girls Club will open. So they'll make it available for parents to have a safe place for children to be. And I would agree. I appreciate what you're saying, and that's why Mrs. Bergerman met with the kindergarten teachers. We want the time. Can we gain back instructional time if we start to, as we work together to help with helping children develop those self-regulation? Because we do have teachers who are spending time just keeping things in a controlled situation where learning can be really challenging. So how do we support that? And that's why she met with the kindergarten teachers, because we value their time with their students. So just so that you're aware.
And, you know, one of the wonderings that one of the a couple of them had was, you know, could it be done at one school or another school, you know, within that and just in pockets. And, you know, with our mobility and you know, we just really felt that it was important and that we have that the common training. Our not only are our students mobile, but, you know, within my kindergarten team this year, you know, I have teachers that were at another school. There's just that mobility, even within our teaching staff, changes happen. And so if we could really provide that strong foundation for our students across Caldwell, but also within our teachers from preschool to kinder, you know, and across the district, then even if, you know, my kindergartner goes to Van Buren or goes to Washington, then there would also be teachers within that building that be like, oh, this is the language, this is the tool. So it just provide that opportunity to have a strong, a better foundation for also future supports for those students and for us as well.
Just to follow up.
Trustee Butler.
Dr. French, with the Boys and Girls Club, how much notice would they need from families if they were gonna take advantage of that time? You know, I don't wanna have, all of a sudden have an influx of a couple hundred students there and them not be prepared for that.
So trustee Manny, or sorry, Chairman Manny and trustee Butler. Right now, they're prepared and we just need to notify them. They can handle quite a few children at a time. I think they handle anywhere from 75 to 150 on a given day at Lincoln. So it would just be a matter getting the communication out to parents and then working with Melissa Gentry at Boys and Girls Club so that it's $5 for the day, which includes breakfast and lunch and probably a snack if they're there till later. And just making sure that parents are aware that this is an option for them. And then if they are a Boys and Girls Club member, there's no cost.
All right, thank you.
How long is the training?
We would start at 8:30 and go till 3:30. So this is a 1-day training. And then with the opportunity to have them provide that, you know, future support for us. There are additional workshops that provide additional trainings to connect to it. We chose the one that specifically focuses on challenging behaviors
So is this the online training or is it a training in person?
in person. Someone would come in.
What about the option of doing, I don't know, when we have the professional development days on Wednesdays, doing say 3 professional development days, you know, afternoons in a row or something like that?
From my understanding, they just do it in this like 1-day chunks for that was the option provided for us, but they don't have it in that.
Is this a local organization?
No, I know Dawn and Julie, or not Dawn and Melissa went and you saw them in Denver. This trainer, I'm not sure if she's coming from Denver or where she's coming from.
I don't know
Yeah,
for
I don't
sure.
know where she's.
So
Nationwide.
yeah, Chairman Manning, it is a national tools of the mind. And there's a link for you to look at, but it is learning based on the Vygotsky learning theory. And when we were able to attend the early learning cohort paid for by a grant, just want to make sure everyone knows that. We had the opportunity to visit Denver Public Schools and their preschool program. And they are users of tools of the mind. We did see exceptional work from preschoolers, kindergartners. We learned more about the self-regulation. That was a major conversation. I don't know if you may be aware, the conversations across the Treasure Valley are the student behaviors that are in all schools, all districts. And I have shared with Mrs. Bergerman that we don't expel 5-year-olds because of behavior. But we do need to empower our teachers to know what to do, how to address it, who to work with, what resources are there, so that we can have all those 5-year-olds be ready for first grade, all the preschoolers prepared and ready for kindergarten. But I think Mrs. Bergerman could share some interesting stories, but it might be, in a private meeting, maybe if we were talking about students, but the behaviors are severe. I mean, it's been very interesting to visit with SIC schools to hear what's the
Do we know
things they're saying.
why? Do we have an idea as to why, possibly?
Well, sorry, Chairman Manning, we could say part of it, I think, is COVID. Some of
I mean,
their lack of interaction with other children.
yeah, I mean, we have like one family this year that shared, that their child, this is their first time their child has been around other students, not because they both parents work and their schedule alternates, evenings, working nights, working days, so they didn't have to do daycare because they couldn't afford it. And they're an only child. So then we started this child in kindergarten and, just hasn't learned how necessarily to stay calm or use the language when they're upset because they don't necessarily get their way. We put them in a classroom with other children and stuff. And so they become upset and the family is, we've worked with, family's been great and stuff, but some of it is COVID, some of it's just the economic situation of the family and trying to make things work but we spent a lot of time trying to work through that. And, it's been rough. So there's a lot of variables, but some of it is what can we do to help those students who maybe just haven't had the opportunity to even be around other students until we're putting them in, a kindergarten classroom and saying, here you go. It's, it's a little different than when we were growing up and playing out in our yard with the neighborhood kids.
Chairman Manning and trustees, I would agree with Mrs. Berkelman and I think what you'll see with the tools of the mind, it's about intentional play. You would be surprised. It is surprising when people say, oh, play, we don't play at school. Well, the things that kids can learn through interacting with each other and being set up for success, it's not go out and play. We're intentional about the centers we set up. We're intentional about the instruction they receive in order to be successful as a working group. And then it just builds the executive functioning skills on reasoning, empathy, perspective taking, the ability to be flexible in your thinking when someone says, well, we're not going to build that, or we're not going to do that. Your ability to stop, think, instead of having a meltdown, to be flexible and change and go ahead and go with the group's idea of what we should be doing. And I say that, like if you were running a store and the other 5-year-old tells you, well, that's not where the cereal box should go. I know you're thinking, well, what? The flexible thinking to say, okay, I'll go along with my friend. We'll put that over here. It just builds some resiliency. Seeing it in action is more powerful. It's really hard to explain when you say, well, children need intentional play, but also teachers need to know what to do to help with behaviors. And that right now, this is what this module is on, helping with self-regulation and challenging behavior. I think Mrs. Bergerman added some slides for you to look at. And she sent them to me and I think I added them in your assembly so that you can see that as well.
Okay, do we have any further discussion or questions for Ms. Bergerman? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the Tools of the Mind PD for February 12th?
Yes, Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to approve that we have a professional day on February 12th to be able to expand on the tools of the mind for kindergarten workshop or the PD that we're gonna have.
Okay, motion by Vice Chair Pacina. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by trustee Robertson. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor
Aye.
Hey,
and any opposed? All right. Motion passes. Any future agenda items, trustees?
No.
Okay, seeing none. Policy developments. Dr. French request to rescind.
Excuse me, Chairman Manning and trustees, we request to rescind the following policies. Policy 10,009, materials distribution. It conflicts with policy 7310, advertising in schools. Policy 10,011, community involvement. It conflicts with policy 4100, public relations, and policy 4110, public complaints. And then policy 10,014, external journalism access. It conflicts with policy 4140, visitors to the school. The 10,000 policies are policies we're working on to rescind, and you will find them in these other policies that have been put forth. So right now, what is in the 10,000 can be substantiated in the 4,000s.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the rescinded policies?
Chairman Manning, I move to rescind policies 10,009, 10,011, and 10,014.
Okay, motion by trustee Butler. Do I have a second?
second.
Trustee Godina for the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor
Aye.
Aye.
and any opposed? Okay, errata revisions, Dr. French.
Yep. Chairman Manning and trustees, we have one errata revision, policy 10,030, the Golden Activity Pass. We changed the policy number, or we're asking to change the policy number to 4190 and move this to the 4,000 section of the policy manual, which is community relations.
Okay, trustees, any questions, comments about policy 1030, the Golden Activity Pass? Which is kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. It's a pass for those in the community 65 years or older and who would like to attend any home events, activities, sports. They can do so for free from 65 on up.
I can't wait to get to be 65. Oh, wait, I get it. Free anyways, okay.
Is that a known thing? I'm sorry, Chairman Manning, Dr. French, is that a known thing for, have we had that at our events before? So somebody's grandpa walks up, do they know that? Or do they-
Chairman Manning and trustee Godina, John Halleck does make that available, I believe, at the beginning.
Oh.
Right, but I don't know how widespread. I do know we have talked about how to get the word out more. Because it's not just for the grandparents, it's for anybody in the community that would like to attend. So we can do better, and I'll visit with Jessica Watts and John about how we can better promote that.
Yeah.
It is a good deal. And you know, really, they're great fans. I was at a girls' basketball game and we were sitting by some individuals who are grandparents. And they came for the ninth grade game and they stayed through the varsity. And really, that's who, they are a benefit to Caldwell.
Yeah.
Because they sit and they cheer, and it's a great way to spend an evening. And so, yes, we can do better.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions?
Chairman Manning.
Trustee Robinson.
It's just a comment. On the first page of this policy for the Golden Age Pass, I see that the Office of the Superintendent, the address has been corrected, but on the second page, it is still the 1502,
Thank you.
so it's just one page it got corrected and the second page it did not.
On
So
it.
just a note.
Okay,
So,
thank
thank
you.
you.
And one thing I would add too, is I noticed that on that policy that it mentioned that you go in and show your driver's license. And some people don't have driver's licenses anymore. Perhaps
At 65.
at 65 or younger. It's, you know, sometimes sometimes you you don't have your license for whatever reason. So maybe we could add or other state ID. So
Okay,
if somebody
sure.
didn't have their driver's license, they had to surrender it, for example, to the state of Idaho.
Okay.
Add or other state ID or something to that effect.
Yep, we can do that. Thank you. Yeah, because it is still an active it is an active policy. It will just be known as policy, oops,
4190.
yep, 4190. So it may come back for another errata revision with the address and a form of ID.
Okay.
Okay.
Or
Want to prove what we are doing now to move it to the
I was
40?
gonna
4,000?
make a motion, Mr. Chairman, I move to table the errata revision for policy 10,030 at this time.
Okay, do we have a second
Table until we have a
motion
full-
from trustee Butler?
Okay.
Do we have a second from trustee Godin? Any further discussion? All's in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, thank you. We'll bring that back next month.
Dr. French, second and final reading.
Yeah,
I noticed we're skipping the first. I guess we didn't have any first because of maybe the Christmas break or
Right.
whatever.
pardon me. So policy 1260, authorization of signatures and electronic signatures, replacing policy 358. Policy 3270, district provided access to electronic information and services and network. This is addition of section 6. Policy 5270, district provided access to electronic information services and networks, addition of section 6. So those were significant enough changes that they went through a reading process, so. That's all I have.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the second and final reading?
Chairman Manning, I move to approve and accept the second and final reading for policy 1260, policy 3270, and policy 5270.
Okay, trustee Butler with a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. Information only. There is the ISBA Get On Board webinar series that happens once a month. The date's listed. The ISB Public Education First Advocating for Public Schools, Not Vouchers Lobby Day on January 20th, so next Monday. Do we want to talk more about that one? Who's going to that?
Yeah, I would, Chairman Manning, we'll need to know so we can post a quorum if there are more than 3, if there are 3 or more going.
I believe I am going.
Trustee Robertson's going and I'm going.
Okay, so we'll need to post a quorum.
At least.
No, this is for the January
MLK.
20 Public Education
Lobby
First.
Day.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
And then ISBA Day on the Hill, February 17th and 18th. Do you guys know if you guys are going to go to that?
I will be going.
Okay,
I will be going at least to the February 17th one.
okay.
Trustee Godino, trustee Butler, do you know?
Likewise, yeah.
Okay.
Just that Monday? And are you two both days? Okay.
Both days.
So I guess 3 of us on Monday and then
5 of us on
for,
Monday
sorry,
of us
5
on-
of us on Monday,
and 2 on
2 of you on Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you. Jessica will be happy to make sure that happens.
Yay.
Okay.
Hold our hand.
All right, having said that, I will accept a motion to resume into executive session.
Okay,
Manning,
Trustee Butler.
I move to enter into executive session per Idaho Code 74-2061B.
Okay. So the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Roll call.
I'm sorry.
Roll call.
Roll call.
All vote?
Mhm.
So
Roll call.
formal. We're so formal here.
Yeah.
Trustee Robertson. Yes. Vice Chair Madison Messina.
Yes.
Chairman Travis Manning.
Yes.
And Trustee Manuel Urbina.
Yes.
And Trustee Amy Buck.
Yes.
All right, we are now into executive session. Funk.
We separated them because they.
We're good.
Are we on?
We're on. Yes.
Okay. You're alive.
I'm on it. I don't see you.
You don't see me, but you should see them.
Still has the delays.
All right, we are, I'll take a motion to exit executive session.
We don't need. You
Okay,
just stated.
okay, we are going to exit executive session.
And then.
Chairman Manning,
Trustee Butler.
after listening to the information provided during executive session, our decisions regarding Idaho Code 74-2061B to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public school officer, employee, staff member, individual agent, or public school student is information only.
Okay, the remaining item on the agenda is from our consent agenda. The personnel report. Do we have a motion to approve the personnel report?
Is Chairman Manning, I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel reports as stated in our agenda.
Vice
Second.
Chair Pacina with the motion, Trustee Butler with the other trustee Butler, also known as Trustee Godina with the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, the motion passes, the personnel report as passed, and I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Godina with the first and Trustee Butler with the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Meeting is almost adjourned.